Welcome to the Liverpool 12th Man Show. I'm the Liverpool 12th Man, just as much as you are, and that's probably why you're here, because we are joined by the Irishman and
How we doing?
also by Lee. How you doing, Irishman?
Yeah, great. Good day again. Lots of football.
Lots of football. Yeah,
England, the perfect night owl for those who have difficulty sleeping.
yeah. And how about for you, Lee? Welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been an entertaining day because I was watching one of the shows we did a few days ago, just looking back at what we were talking about England, over expectant England fans. And I've never been a deluded England fan. I've wanted
Mhm.
England to do well in the past, and they more often than not haven't done well like at major tournaments. But it was funny because I watched it like I was laughing at the Englishman in me come out and bristled like you haven't won nothing since '66. It was like, yeah, but Spain and France as well haven't won bugger all. I was giving it that one, weren't I, the other day?
Yeah,
But yeah, the Englishman in me came out like I tried to button me shirt down, but it still got out over the top, and did its English thing, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
three
I had
lines,
to.
three lines, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that thing? Cry Harry for St. George, England, and
Oh,
I don't know, the Dragon's Ass or something like. But it makes me laugh. It's in bloody Sherlock Holmes. I love that Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey and Jude Law. It's really good,
yeah,
that, isn't it?
the first one is good. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed the first one. Don't know, but it got a bit CGI at the end. I don't like when it all just becomes CGI, but I did like Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I'm a Jeremy Brett guy. I'm always going to be a Jeremy Brett guy when it comes
Right.
to Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but I thought Robert Downey Jr. was pretty good, actually. Yeah,
I thought it was
better
good
than
too.
Fucking
I
Rathbone.
wait. Do you not like he plays Doctor Strange.
Oh,
Benedict,
Cumberbatch.
Benedict
Yeah,
Cumberbatch.
yeah. You don't like
Um,
his portrayal? I thought it was
I
good. I thought his was good too.
Yeah, he's a good actor, then. He's a good actor,
Yeah,
Benedict Cumberbatch,
yeah.
he's good at Holmes, but I didn't like
Be
the way it
honest,
was
I've not seen
written.
it, Holmes. I've not seen that. My
Okay.
Holmes is Basil Rathbone, then Jeremy Brett
Yeah, yeah,
second,
that's
Robert
one. Yeah,
Downey for the
Mm.
film Holmes, because them two were
yeah.
but no, yeah, Basil Rathbones were films, but they were on telly
Yeah.
when I was a kid. You
Mm.
know what I mean? And you seen the great Basil Rathbone.
And they were
Uh,
only about like an hour and 10 minutes long as well. A lot of those
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
They weren't like three. Yeah, but if you're talking about because Jeremy Brett never played him on film, so if you're talking about the on film, definitely Basil Rathbone, then Downey Jr. and on TV, I'd have Jeremy Brett over Benedict Cumberbatch. But like some of those early Sherlocks, the new ones with Benedict Cumberbatch were quite good. But they're written
Mhm.
by the guys that do League of Gentlemen and Inside Number Nine. They're quite clever, and I didn't really like the show as much, and it wasn't so much Cumberbatch. But nobody on TV, you're not beating Jeremy Brett, no chance.
Mm. You know, I guess it was because, like, I guess real quick, we're gonna get into Reds talk. I don't know how these guys got into Sherlock Holmes talk, but like, I don't know. For me, I guess because I like Luther. I like the show Luther.
Oh,
I don't know
that's
if
a
you ever.
great show. I love Luther. That's a great show, man. That's especially the
Yeah,
first series. That's really
yeah.
good.
The
Yeah,
first season. Yeah, the first season of it.
really,
Or
really good.
yeah,
Yeah,
and there were some similarities to me at least, being like they were just like the misunderstood detective that has like that no one understands him, but he's always got like there's like these twists and turns in the story that you got to figure out. And I think
yeah.
I think yeah I think like
Well,
the main villain was very similar in both of those shows too, in the
oh,
first
there
season at
was
least.
similar actors. Yeah, someone played.
Yeah,
Yes, you're correct. And
yeah.
also that they would have been filmed. They were both filmed in central. Like they would have been filmed in similar locations, like literally on the same streets. They're both. They're all
Mhm.
filmed. They're both
Oh,
filmed
they're all
in
filmed
central
down
London.
in the same location.
In
I
central
got you.
London, yeah, yeah. In that part of London, there were a lot of the same. Yeah, if you were to watch it like forensically, you'd probably see some of the same sets and streets
Mhm.
Luther was a little bit different when it came out. Obviously, Sherlock Holmes was it's it's Sherlock Holmes. It's not a new show. It's a
Yeah,
re
yeah, 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 yeah.
right. But Luther was different and it was new. And yeah, Idris was off the back of the wire, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a bit cheap and crappy because they're just cashing in on him off the wire. But they actually wrote a really, really good one. The first couple, yeah, Luther was great.
Oh, Marion. Oh, Luther was a. I don't know. I don't think they ever committed to Luther being like. I think they thought it was only going to be like a one season thing. Like some of those series, they just like they kind of let
Definitely,
it. Yeah,
definitely.
I
That
don't
was
think they planned it to be such a hit as much as it
no.
was, and that's probably why they had to keep it all. You know.
The British
Yeah.
drama gets some. Do people watch it in America then? Yeah, Luther.
What's
We've
that?
always got
Well,
loads
you
of
know why
American.
Luther's on Netflix. It was on Netflix over here, so that's why we got to see it.
Yeah, and Idris was famous for The Wire. The Wire was
Yeah.
huge in America, so
Yeah,
Idris
yeah.
was already famous. Like Idris is more famous. Like this shows you how early I started watching The Wire. I started watching The Wire before I had the internet. Only about 6 months before I first got the internet, but before I got the internet, because I'd only well anyway. But I thought that he was American. Like when I was
Mhm.
watching The Wire first, I just thought he was Stringer Bell. I thought he was an American actor, obviously, and that was what was so brilliant about The Wire was 90% of the people in it, 99% of the people in it weren't famous actors.
Mhm.
They weren't well known, especially over here. So you only ever knew them as those characters that they played. You'd never
Mhm.
seen them in anything else. There was only one or two other people that were like, "Oh, I know him from this or that." And yeah, I just saw it for 2 years. I thought Idris Elba was
I
American.
like Donald.
Mhm.
It is Donald Faison, isn't it? In The Wire, he was good in The Wire. Donald Faison. I liked him.
What character is
Well,
he? I'm better with characters. What character did he play?
You know who I mean? 12th. He was
Who's
one of
he
the
in it?
older cops in The Wire. One of the older
I'd
cops
have
in
to
The
look
Wire.
up his name. I know The Wire well, but I don't know all the actors' names
I'm sure
in
his
The
son's an
Wire.
actor as well.
I'll give it a look. But before I give that out, what were your thoughts on the game, people? What were your thoughts on that game? We just watched a 1-0 victory for England. I don't know if I personally thought that the Netherlands game was a more entertaining game than this one. This one had bouts of entertainment in it. I'm not gonna say it didn't, but it had little bouts of it. Uh, Serbia definitely has. If there were people that were kind of skeptical on that back line for England, I think you got to be a little bit nervous to say the least going into the next, into as you get deeper into the tournament and you're facing better talent or better opposition. I don't know about you, but I thought Serbia had his opportunities in this game. They just didn't. And I will say this too, Bellingham, Jude did his Hey Jude moment where that was a very meaningful and courageous header, by the way, because couple like a misstep or a second off, or if a defensive player wants to get really rough and rugged, he could have, Jude's coming out with a broken nose, or like a shiner or something like that. You know what I mean? That's at least my
Yeah.
perception. Lee, what was your perceptions of the game today?
Well, I must
Tell me in the
confess,
chat too, by the way, what your guys thought about
must
the game.
confess that as a massive England fan, I let myself down and didn't bloody watch it.
Yeah.
I just went on a
Oh.
live stream.
Oh no.
I was listening to it on Gold Bridge and Talksport live stream, one and then the other aside, because I just wanted to type some stuff like and mess around
Yeah.
and that way. So what happened anyway? We were winning 1-0 before I come off to. I chipped it off and then listened to some songs before that started. You know what I mean? So I didn't know what was the final score.
Oh, they won it 1-0.
1-0. 1-0.
Yeah. That's what I always do as well. If I can, if I can't, I can't. But if I can, I will. Um, which I'm sure you're glad to hear. I'll always listen to music for at least 10 or 20 minutes before I do a live stream because I couldn't do that tonight because I was doing a live stream while I was on Ant Leicester fan.
Oh, that's cool.
He was
Cool.
doing he was doing a watch along. So I was on there with him for a while. I joined in a half time and just had a chat for a while. But
Mhm.
by the end of it, like, oh, that was boring. That was really, really boring. I
I
mean,
thought
they
that
were,
Serbs. Yeah. Yeah. Go
oh,
ahead.
jeez. No, they were like, I've watched every game now apart from the Scotland Germany game, and there is a
Mhm.
pattern it's early in the competition. So there is a
Mhm.
pattern of very, very slow football, bigger teams being dominant.
Mhm.
Prime example being the Swiss against Hungary, and all games being played at walking pace at times. Again, today a lot of it has been played at walking pace because people, again, you're trying to get into the tournament. You don't go in there at 100 miles an hour. I realize Germany have gone 1-5 now, but it's it is a bit of a pattern. But even by those standards, England. Oh God, I can't imagine what it's like to be an England fan and to have uh, Bellingham, Foden, Saka, Harry Kane, and one or two others around it. Trent on the pitch, and to kind of really suck the life out. I don't. There's something about them. They can really suck the life out of a game.
Mhm.
It might look good, but it gets slower and slower and slower and worse and worse and worse. And what you end up then is the point where they brought on Dusan Tadic, who I think is still a phenomenal player,
Mhm.
and especially at international level against weaker teams. And they brought on Luka Jovic. You're there going, okay, England, you're 1-0 up. It's 82 minutes. One mistake and you're in the soup. Serbia don't have to play well here. You just have to make one mistake and they'll get a goal. And they had chances.
I have to be
So
honest.
no, but
I
just
like
sorry,
doing
I
that
just think if
sometimes.
England, but just sorry, I just finished. I just think if England in a position like that just should have got that second goal, and they never look like getting that second goal. Like when it's only one,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's an international tournament. You can't lose. It's not a league season. I mean, you make a couple of mistakes, you're going out. And
Yeah.
if they play like that, I don't know what they do, but they play so slowly and so. But if they
I
play
do
like
have.
that against someone good,
Yeah.
they are in big trouble. They really will
Mhm.
be in big trouble.
Yeah. I do have a little bit of a diagnostic or diagnosis, I should say, of it. But I'll allow for Lee Lee, you had something you wanted to say to what Brian had to say? Because Brian's got some people in the chat believing, definitely agreeing with you.
No, with today's game being England, I was happy to listen to commentary so I could type in a chat box like what everyone else is
Mhm.
doing here. That I can't say. I
Mhm.
just prefer. If it was Liverpool, I'd want to see the pictures, but it was being described as a quickly could hear the game. It didn't sound that good, so I think I might have hit on a good idea there, not to look at the pictures and just to listen to
Mhm.
someone describing it because it didn't sound very entertaining to me.
Yeah. I was just about to say, yeah, Richard says Foden and Kane very quiet. I asked the chat. I can ask you guys too. Um, I'll go through some of the answers of the chat, and then you guys can give me yours. I was just saying, like, who do you think really went missing today, and who do you think really stood out for England today? Um, as I said again, Richard thought that Foden and Kane were very quiet. I thought that too. Um, Norm agrees with you. He says, "Yes, Brian, I agree. They got worse as the game went on. I think they definitely. I think it was a little bit of both. I think that Serbia got more confident as the game went on. They got more into the rhythm and surely thinking we could probably nick a goal here and really make this into a competition."
Right,
Um,
I could hear from the commentary that it was an England performance, which is just like tepid, lukewarm, nothing in it. You want to turn the telly off even if you have tuned in. Do you know what I mean? I could
yeah,
tell I
yeah.
went missing nothing by listening to the commentary instead and going in a chat box.
Well, there was 6 shots by Serbia, 5 shots by England, and the goalkeeper made 2 saves for Serbia and 1 save. So, actually, and I will admit this, I know that Richard said that Kane went missing, which I think he relatively did. He made a quick hello and then dipped. He did his Lionel Richie, and real quick and said hello and then disappeared. Because he definitely had a shot that I don't know, a great save by the Serbian goalkeeper. I know Brian watched did the watch along. I think you probably remember that save that he made, because I think I don't even know the where went off the bar and then bounced out.
Yeah, brilliant save.
Yeah,
like it was so fast that when you saw it in real time, you didn't know it was a
you
save.
didn't know that he made a save.
Yeah. You didn't. So that's how quickly you came at him.
Yeah.
Look, it's 1-0, but you want to see that they go quicker in the next game, and quicker in the next game, and quicker in the next game. But I've seen them do this a lot. I've seen them kind of not be able to put their foot down, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
They get into third, but they can't get into fourth and then fifth. They can't put that game to bed. It really should have been that. 3 points, 1 win. When you look at what the way it's going to go, the third best teams to finish third, or the best teams finish third, will go through. So one win in your first game should pretty much guarantee you. If you get another point, you should be okay. But I would be just very worried as an England fan, because I didn't see that as a look. We're going to take it slow in this tournament. We're going to pace ourselves. We're not going to go hell for leather at the start. I just saw it as an issue in them not being able to really kill off a game, with the talent that they have. So, I don't know. I don't really see how they have where their killer punches, how they have that. It's just what I've seen from a long time with them. They seem to not have that overdrive, that kind of ability to just overwhelm teams. And when you look at their starting on paper, I know they're
blowing them out. Yeah,
their defense is obviously shaky, but when you're talking about Foden and Bellingham and Saka and Rice and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I mean, these are guys that are pretty much balling out for the top teams across the continent, across the world. Harry Kane. It just doesn't seem to click for them. But
there's always something missing with England. There's always something missing with England that denies them winning trophies, and I can't see it ever being put there in the near future either. Whatever's missing for us to get a major honour like the Euros or the World Cup, there's always something missing with England.
Yeah. I put it into the chat. I put this into the chat. We're gonna do a little
easy and whatever missing.
Gonna do something a bit different. Gonna open it up.
Yeah, I put this into the chat. I figured that it's Sunday Funday, so I bring some of you guys and girls into the chat here. If you guys want to give a call in, you're more than welcome. I put the link in the chat. I don't know how to pin things in here in the chat, but I put it in the chat. Hopefully you can see it. I'll repost it again. But if you guys want to chime in and kind of give your takes on the game on England, because we have a lot of UK supporters in the chat, or if you want to speak on a game that I am actually looking forward to talking about, and that is the Orange, talking about the big Orange game. We can talk about that as well. So yeah, if you want to give a call in, you're more than welcome. But I am going to bring up some of these comments here from the chat, because there were some really good comments in here. A lot of people were definitely supporting your take on the game today, Brian. Let's see. I was looking at the Luther Vandross thing. Hylor says here Rice also had a very good first half, but it's embarrassing to see all those other players play so dull. Foden, Player of the Year, really could be an ad for a sleeping pill. Could have been an ad for a sleeping pill today. I feel you on that. I think Foden really went missing, but I also think that Foden isn't necessarily a left wing. And one thing I think is like my take on it today. This is my personal take, obviously. I think that my take today shows that the difference between like a Klopp, if you even want to say Pep, but more so Klopp, obviously, since he is the head coach or was the head coach for us. Difference that you can see from a Klopp team as of late, as opposed to a Southgate team, which we've just seen, is that despite the fact that he probably does have players, incredible talented players that do and probably could play a fluid style of football, in his system, fluidity is not a thing. I just don't think the fluidity is a thing. It's not like you don't really get to see. It's not like there's really that much of like creativity that is allowed for these players to just kind of like, do this whole like samba Brazilian style. I know that's taking a different take, but or even a Spanish style of like football where you see a lot of players being able to like articulate their game, kind of like flow out of their position, but yet know that there's another player that can fill that spot for them and be able to create just as equally as they can. And I think that's why, like you with Foden, I certainly see. I think the reason why he was Player of the Year this year was because with the absence of KDB, you had an opportunity to allow for him to be the creative spark, for him to be that, if anything, like a little bit of a 10 for them this year at City. So I just don't think that he has the pace. Now, Saka, different story. I thought Saka was really, really decent on the wing, and that's the difference. He can play that wing. He has pace. He has the ability to get around his player, and he saw that today. But that's just my take on it. Lee, you look like you have something you want to say to that.
Sorry,
no, mate. I'm not. Okay.
Then, as you spoke, like it sort of broke where it was in the head.
No worries. I'll put the StreamYard in there again so we can't.
Yeah. Just so there we go. Yeah, until we can pin it. So again,
yeah.
We don't do. I think that we've never done a call in. If no one wants to call in, that's cool. But if
totally
want to call in and have just like your a bit of an exercise usual, as opposed to just commenting and the ordinary stuff. But there's no pressure to come on, no pressure to do anything. So, but the link is going to be there.
The link is there if you want to.
Come in.
Definitely, link is there. I know we have make it like it's like a. I was gonna say the mystery van, but more like the Partridge Family, maybe. Like this.
I like the mystery van though. I'm good with mystery van.
Mystery van? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with
mystery van's a lot better, a lot cooler time.
Yeah,
a lot cooler time.
Those pesky kids.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you want to hop in the mystery van, you can more welcome.
Big fan of that as a kid. Like great that one, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if many people.
Those like massive sandwiches.
Yeah. Oh well,
yes.
You know what? Too, by the way, I wanted to ask this question too. What did you think of today? Was the debut, basically the European like in a real game, pretty much for this tournament. Let's just call it this tournament. Was pretty much the debut of TAA in the midfield. What did you think?
I also have a question.
Okay.
Because this will come on to that. Okay. Say this. Okay, so if you pick the best one with all the people that are fit, so you can make up your own mind on that. But would Klopp have a better chance of winning the Premier League with this Liverpool squad or this England squad? You can park it till the end, if you know what I'm saying. But would he?
Wait. So would it be better to have the England
Would
squad?
Klopp have a better chance of winning the Premier League with the Liverpool squad of
The
last
current
season,
Liverpool squad
or
they left with?
yeah, the last one, yeah, or this
Three rounds,
the best England squad?
That's a good question.
Harry Kane, Phil Foden, Saka, Bellingham, Stones, Trent, Walker.
I will admit this. I really, and this isn't just because he scored the goal. I've been thinking this for a while. Obviously, I was very much on the Jude. I got wrapped up in the Jude hype and was really looking forward and hoping that he would become a Liverpool Red as opposed to a Blanco. I just think that if we had Jude in the middle, this team would have cooked this year.
Oh, he's complete, man.
Yeah, he's a complete player.
He's not even 21. He's going to turn 21 during this competition. And did you see him tonight? He played on the left wing. He played defensive midfield. He played number 8. He scored the goal. Like, he, to me, is the closest thing I've seen in a long time to Ruud Gullit. Ruud Gullit started playing up front for AC Milan, PSV, plays on the right, then ends up dropping into sweeper. I can see Bellingham, God willing, he stays fit and keeps getting better as a modern day Beckenbauer. He'll someone when he's 32, he'll drop into the midfield and then he'll drop into DM. And by the time he's 35, he could probably even be playing centre half. Like the guy, I reckon, could other than I think obviously goalkeeper and left back. I really don't see a position on the pitch he couldn't play to a high level. Honestly, the guy, did you see him tackling like 3 people at the same time and taking the ball out of it and just getting up and run? I mean, the guy is ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. And him and our team, I think we wanted him. I think all this nonsense about we ballsed it up or we dropped the ball or we didn't, we didn't pay them or whatever. I think he turned around and said, look, I really appreciate the interest, but I'm joining Real Madrid.
No,
I think that's as simple as that transfer came down to. That we wanted him. We would have paid him. We would have paid the fee. We would have given him the wages he wanted.
Do you think we would have given him 300,000 or whatever he's on right now?
I reckon, probably for Bellingham. I think we would have, and because it was a statement signing.
We all know
basically
we all know what it took for Liverpool to give Salah 300 over 300,000.
But what I said is I don't think it would have fallen down on wages. I mean, I think we went all out for the kid, and the only reason we didn't get him, like when people out there saying we didn't offer him what he wanted or we messed it up, I think we were there. We were there to say we'll make it happen, and he's like, love it, appreciate the interest, but I'm going to Madrid. I really think that was all that came down to. Was as soon as they said they wanted him, every other club was kind of wasting their time. Yeah, they were wasting their time. So I think we did our best to get out of it quickly. And we just went off and moved on to it. But him in any team, but in our team especially, wow, what a player. What a footballer.
I can understand that. I was looking at Dara's comment. It says Kane was more effective in defense than he was in offense. That's funny.
Call in, Dara. Dara, man, you've been asking to call in. The lines are open, as they say.
The lines are definitely open.
We'll post it again there in the chat now in a second if anybody wants to call in. All you boys. Norman, Daz, Haylor.
But no pressure. And if you don't want to call in, you're more than welcome. It's Sunday Funday. At least that's what I call Sundays here in my town. So let's see. I actually had to I had a English. He was from Exeter.
Oh,
He's
oh yeah.
he's a Spurs fan, Spurs supporter, and had he was my DJ. He was my DJ for last night.
Yeah, an extra seat on the plane, Ant. Yeah, an extra seat on the plane. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly,
no
exactly.
worries, mate. Yeah, no worries, man.
Um,
Yeah, one win
and
and it's
we
coming
went
home.
to
That's the English
we
way.
yeah we went to watch. I dipped early so I could be back for this. So I ended up watching like the first half with him at a English boozer. But the only unfortunate thing about that was it wasn't the Liverpool supporter boozer. It was, unfortunately, we had to go to the owner of this boozer is a Red Devil. He's a Manc. So originally he's from Manchester. So yeah, it's a Red Devil bar. So
One of
it,
my best
it
memories of
was
it.
only so long I could hang out there. I was like, you know what, I gotta be out.
Yeah,
What did you say, Lee? What did you say, Lee?
Did you say Exeter at the beginning? Someone from Exeter.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I lived down there very briefly, and like when Michael Owen was like very new up front for us, because I remember he was new in the team and getting a start, Michael Owen, and we played like Southampton at the beginning of the season. It was summer. I was in Exeter. It was one of the only highlights of going there was watching that match in the pub, having a pub lunch and watching that match.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the place, by the way. It wasn't the place. The place was nice. It was lovely. I was delighted to have stayed there, but it just wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
University
sure.
town,
University town. Yeah.
Exeter. Yeah, it's one of those old Roman towns, isn't it, Lee? It's one of those old Roman,
Nice looking
but it's
place,
a
yeah. Nice looking place.
posh. It's a posh town. One of my good friends went there to do masters in psychology.
Yeah.
From Ireland, and it's she's like, yeah, this place is posh. Uh, yeah, and yeah,
Well,
Exeter, but crap team. I think.
let's get an answer. How about say let's get an answer though for my original question though.
Uh-huh.
What was your interpretations? I know that Lee didn't really get a good opportunity to watch Trent play in midfield for England today.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what were your impressions of him? And
Ooh.
Lee, you can tell me your expectations of him. And Irishman, tell me what were your reactions to seeing him play today?
My expectations of Trent for England, you're asking.
Or just your expectations of him being
In
utilized in
this
the midfield.
midfield role kind of thing. Yeah.
But it looks like something Southgate likes. Whether he'll persist with it, I don't know. So Kyle Walker's getting the nod, is he, at right back? Kyle
Mhm.
Walker
Yes.
starting?
Yes,
Right.
he did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's found somewhere to put Trent in.
Oh, yeah. If you didn't watch, yeah, the midfield three was Rice,
Huh.
Bellingham, Trent.
Yeah.
So
Your
it
boy
was,
Ant is very, very by the way, Irishman, your boy Ant is very, very bullish on England's bringing it home. It's coming home, apparently. That's Ant's saying.
Yeah,
Big up.
that's what I was saying. That's what,
Yeah.
sorry, I interrupted you earlier on when I was saying that an extra seat on the plane for the
Yeah.
England team when they're coming, they got to book that extra seat for the trophy. One win against
Okay.
Serbia, 1-0, and they're booked. It's already coming home. But that's why we love England fans. That's why we love them
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they go high early. They go high. But hey, look,
Yeah.
as
And
you
we're
know,
welcome to
as I
call
said,
in. Yeah, certainly.
yeah, we were. I think he's retired
Oh,
from
I
it.
see
Yeah, I
that.
was on
I see he's
Yeah.
just resting in bed. Yeah. It is. I know it's a little
Yeah.
late. It's a little after hours or adult swim, the adult swim session.
You never know. He might get up if I say Jamie Vardy is overrated, and Brendan Rodgers was too good for Leicester. He wasn't the
Yeah, there you
problem.
go. There you go. Get him
He
riled up.
wasn't.
Get him
Yeah,
riled up.
and he wasn't. Brendan wasn't the problem, and he were. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. But but that's the thing. You see, myself and Ant, we go back a long way, but we also share Brendan PTSD. We've
I got
both
you.
been there. We've both been there with Brendan, and yeah, That's a thing that binds. It's a thing that binds all Liverpool and Leicester fans. Brendan.
Mm. Oh, that's cool. Ant used to play rugby for Dawlish near Exeter. That's interesting. Yeah, he's from there, and like we were getting into some interesting conversation at the end of the night because of he was so riled up and so hyped. He's like, where can I go watch this game tomorrow? I'm like, all right. I think I got a place that I could take you, but but I'm like I can only stay there for so long because we'll be surrounded by Red Devils, so I don't know about that one, especially since the owner, like I said, is a Red Devil. So I was like, there's only so much, but I didn't want to keep you guys waiting as well. I asked about your opinions on Trent today. I think there was a comment. There was a comment in here that actually spoke on it. Gave it their own. Hylor said it. Yeah.
He wasn't great.
Obviously, go ahead. What?
No, it's just he wasn't great. He wasn't
great.
great. He didn't really do much. I think it's Serbia. It's a team that sits off and really does nothing. I mean, if Spain or France or even a Croatia or something, like it's a very, like, it's the first game. He was given all the time and space that he kind of needs.
Yeah.
It's what Trent kind of excels at, but I don't really see it as a, like, I mean, I'm going to get killed here, but
I think people are going to probably like cook him for that giveaway that he gave.
Gave. Well, look, I'm prepared to say this. I said it on Ant's channel, and I'll say it here as well. That if I'm an international manager and I'm not looking at names here, I'm just looking at profiles and people who can do what they can do. I think going further into the tournament, Rice and Bellingham are obviously shoo-ins. I'd probably rather have a Kobe Mainu or a Gallagher or something.
I go with Gallagher over a Trent. I think I go with Gallagher. I think this is way,
but over a Trent.
Yeah.
No, but over Trent in.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I would happily have
instead of Carlo.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to finish on that. Yeah, I would actually happily have Trent at right back.
Yeah,
but not in midfield. I mean, it's an international tournament. It's not it's not his job to, make Trent look good. It's his job to get to the final. So I think having a more balanced midfield. I mean, just up against the likes of Spain, and like, he had very little impact tonight. And I think he'd probably have just as much of an impact tonight from right back as Kyle Walker would have had. Maybe but I think Southgate may have been kind of pandering a little bit to people to say, look, I played him in midfield, it didn't really work, and now I'm going to do this. So you can't accuse me of not having tried it, because it's Serbia. Like, they're not going to get they won't get an easier game than that tonight. Like, Serbia just did nothing until Tadic came on. Serbia really had very little to offer. So yeah, in a semi-final up against a top quality team, I don't see Trent just being allowed to sit in there. But hey, what do I know?
Always loved Dusan Tadic, like you said before, Brian, about what a good player he is. That left foot's been like a wand, and it's been brilliant to watch when you see him doing his best bits, like Tadic, having people off and putting great balls in.
He nearly set up a game, or he nearly
he nearly scored. He
nearly set up a goal.
Yeah, he had a goal, and he also had a shot on net too. He had a shot on goal. It wasn't. It didn't dip the way he wanted to dip.
Yeah,
he had a shot on goal today.
Yeah.
And Haylor, what Haylor is saying there. Sorry, just what Haylor is saying there. I completely understand, and that's correct. Against like the bigger,
let me read it out first. Yeah, let me read it out, and then you can comment. It's obviously, this is Haylor saying this. It's obviously too early to draw a conclusion, but I but he honestly doesn't think Trent is a number 6 or a number 8. As a midfielder, you need more tackling, strength, and ball-winning ability, and he doesn't think that Trent has that in his locker. I ad-libbed the last part of that, but go ahead.
Mm.
Go ahead.
And he added then Kyle Walker's you to use as an anchor. I completely agree. I just think in a game against Serbia is kind of when he could have done it. I just don't see. Like, I'm not going to slag Gareth Southgate off for not building his England team around Trent. That's all I'm saying really here. You know, he doesn't have the time to do that. He doesn't have the options to do that. So it doesn't really bother me. But Brian, speak for yourself. I don't love them one bit. In fact, I'll be supporting Denmark. I don't. Well, I'm not. Yeah, I am. I always speak for myself, Marianne.
Right.
But I just. Yeah, I just don't really see.
Marion, yeah, I got.
No, I don't. I don't see where he fits in a team that has to do something tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, if Walker's in fit, drop him in. But other than that, he kind of had his audition tonight, and they all looked turgid though. I mean, I think they all did. He had his one shot at a free kick. He put it straight in the wall. He did put some crosses in, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know when we're going to ever see the new blooming of Trent as a world class midfielder. I don't know if it's going to happen at this tournament. Anyway, not under, Mr. Southgate, but that's
well, it's not.
Like
I was going to say it's not.
his job.
You don't mean tomorrow. You mean the next game? But I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I just mean it's not Southgate's job.
Tomorrow, I mean, they don't play. I don't think they play tomorrow, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not Southgate's job to get the best out of Trent. It's Southgate's job to win stuff with England, and over the course of 4, 5, 6 tournament games.
It's very true, Norm. Yeah, I see what Norm's saying too. He says he's no England fan, but we can talk about the game we watched, and I do care about what happens to Trent and Gomez because he doesn't want to see them injured. That's certainly true. Like I want them to have good. I want them to have good tournaments. Obviously, I don't have a. My interests are in Copa more so than Euros this year, but all the same, I am watching the Euros with an eye on the players that are Reds that are involved in this tournament, and it's like breaking news. Chelsea is looking to sign a new false 6 called Harry Kane. That's funny. But yeah, I thought Trent played like someone that was debuting as a full-time midfielder. He took a little time. Took a little time for him to get like fully adjusted and involved in it. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want, as much as people are saying, move Trent to the midfield for our club. I'm hesitant on that because I just think that it's an experiment, and it's one of those things where like, am I really wanting to experiment with Trent at this moment with his progress in his development? Am I willing to take a chance in him playing a position that he's not necessarily the most comfortable or accentuates his best talents or best qualities? I don't want to necessarily do that. So I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable alone with the fact that he's had to. We've seen an adjustment of him utilizing the inverted role that he's not normally. I mean, he's always bombing forward anyway, but for him playing the adjustment to the role of that of being an inverted fullback. I don't necessarily. I'm not all on board on trying to get him into the midfield. To be honest with you, for Liverpool, that's just for Liverpool. What they doing for England, that's on Southgate, and that's totally. Hey, if you want to experiment and give us a chance to see what it looks like in the midfield, have at it. In my opinion, because I'm not necessarily. I don't know if England is. I don't know if England's back defensively, if they are capable of really holding it down. At least that's my opinion. But I did pick 2-2, and I was off on that. So, don't go. Predictions are just that, predictions.
It's often been said that there's a mental block with the England players to go all the way now, and there has been for a long, long time. It's just we can never quite get there all the way. Semis, finals, okay, but getting all the way, there's just a bit of a mental block with the England players, and we can't.
Well, Lee, did you watch? I don't know if you got a chance to watch a little bit of the game that I spoke of earlier that I thought was a very good game. I thought it was a good game because you obviously had a little bit more entertainment, I would say. I definitely thought that the Denmark game was a relatively entertaining game too. Ended up in a 1-1 draw. Eriksson had a brilliant goal in that one. But I wanted to speak on the Netherlands and Poland matchup. I wasn't really expecting Poland to really pose a threat in this game. I thought that we were going to see a little bit of, especially because I don't think without Lewandowski in the lineup, I didn't think they were going to bring that much of a threat, offensively. They obviously went ahead 1-0 very early. Make sure I say his name right. Adam Buxta. How do you know how to pronounce his name? Brian's usually really good with the pronunciations. He's
the second way you did it was right.
Buxa or Buxa?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, either or.
Either or.
Books. Yeah, either or.
Close enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, close enough. Definitely.
Yeah, he was the goal scorer early on for Poland. He plays for Lens, right? Or played for Lens last season at least. Not necessarily sure who is he playing for? Because I know he played in MLS for a little bit too. RC Lens is the team he plays for. But it's like kind of like in and out of loans for other teams. What was that? You want to
Dara.
I'll put the link in for the chat. If you guys want to join, you're more than welcome to join. But yeah, for that game, I thought.
So sorry, quickly. Just sorry, real quick. Like, if you've never called into anything before, I mean, you're gonna have to set up a stream. You're gonna need StreamYard, so just be prepared to use StreamYard.
Right. Yes. This is a StreamYard chat.
So, it's not going to automatically just feed you into YouTube. It's going to send you
StreamYard. Yeah.
So if you're not used to dealing with StreamYard, don't worry about it. Just click next and all that crap. You don't have to sign up or you don't have to make an account or anything.
Right. You don't have to make an account. You don't have to pay for. You have to pay for an account or something crap like that. No, it's a free. It's
just
a free
in case.
Account.
Yeah. Just in case anyone's never used StreamYard before. It's not a YouTube link. It's a StreamYard link, which is different. But yeah, persevere and keep going.
Yeah. No. I was just gonna say. I was pleased, just like Norm. I think Norm was saying it. Yeah, Norm said, I thought that Cody looked good in the game. I thought that Cody played well in this game. He was certainly more of the standout. Obviously, the goal scorer for them in the second half, Weghorst, right? Somewhat of a
first touch, baby.
He was the hero for them in the World Cup the World Cup run that they had, scoring very late and making it a very, very entertaining run for them in the World Cup. And did Weghorst play for? Let me double check real quick. He played for Burnley, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
Played for Burnley.
that's who United got him from. Brighton.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I thought that they played well. Memphis, yeah. Honestly says Memphis to pay the fake Ivan Iverson. Ivan Iverson. He is a mid. He's worse than Lambert. Oh wow, that's harsh. I was going to say that I thought also we got to see Ginny play today. He got subbed in the second half. We also got to see Van der Ven played today too. Trying to go. Frimpong played in this matchup today. Very late though for Frimpong. It was a very interesting sub, to tell you the truth, because he subbed in for Cody, but just the sheer fact that Frimpong is a right back, and for him to be subbing in for Cody, and then also being he's more of an offensive minded player than he is a defensive minded player.
So was it Virgil and Van der Ven at centre half? Van Dijk and Van der Ven at centre half, was it?
No, actually,
No.
it was Stefan De. Oh, that's a tough one.
It was Stefan De Vrij and Nathan Ake and Denzel Dumfries.
Yep.
And the fact that he took off Gakpo for Frimpong was interesting, but the fact that he left on Dumfries when he took off when he brought on Frimpong was doubly interesting to me. I don't like him. I don't think he's a very good manager. I mean,
I think someone in the chat said that too. Yeah,
they kind of just do this thing, Koeman's just probably his third time managing the Netherlands. It's at least his second time. For the last 20 years, they basically just hired the same 3 or 4 guys over and over again. Frankie De Jong is out of that team.
Reading honesty statement. I don't know about his bowel movements, but it is what it is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't really know what to say.
I don't know how to answer that one. I know.
I get where that one's coming from. Like about Koeman, yeah. I get where that one's coming from.
Bonker says Frimpong should have started. I also saw.
Just to reiterate, they have no De Ligt, they have no Frankie De Jong, they've no Koopmeiners, they have no.
Well, De Ligt was in the lineup. He was in the lineup today.
Yeah, but he didn't start today.
Yes, you're right about that.
Yes. No, like
Gravenberch was in the lineup. De Ligt's in the lineup, but they didn't start, didn't feature. Yes,
it's not a great look if you're a fan of Dutch teams. If you like European football, it's a Dutch team that you look at and go, yeah, that's pretty flaky. You've got some great players, but you've got Malen, Depay, Weghorst. This is not the likes of Rijkaard, Kluivert, Basten. This is not vintage Dutch. You've got some quality there with the likes of Van Dijk, De Ligt, De Jong, but 2 of those guys didn't play today. One of them was injured. There's bits and pieces, but the Depays and Malins and Weghorsts aren't top bracket. Cody was a standout player today. He won the man of the match. He was the official man of the match.
Actually, had a good game too. I think Nathan Ake had a good game too.
Yeah, Cody quietened down a bit.
Say again?
Gakpo was good in the first half, but they kind of marked him out of the game in the second half. But he was still the best player. More like there was a couple of them today. Actually, there's always a team. I think there was at least 3, at least 2. I think 3. Cody's was deflected. Someone else scored. Someone else, the Slovenian guy, was a deflected goal, and someone else. One of the other goals today Yeah, it was from Saka was a deflected cross. Like Saka was trying a
Yeah,
different ball altogether. Hits
yeah,
the defender
it hit
and,
it,
and
and then
goes
that's what
to
made it go
Bellingham.
up. Yeah,
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 totally different ball. Then it wasn't not
yeah.
like a
He was trying
faint
to do a
touch.
low
It was
cross. He was trying to do a low
yeah.
cross, not a.
It was
He wasn't
ended
trying
up
to
being
get
a
it. Yeah,
completely different ball. So that's two deflected goals
yeah.
and a deflected cross that led to a goal today. So yeah,
Mhm.
there's been some luck has been um,
See, this is
has been kind
interesting
of
too.
cashed in today. So
Yeah.
but no, it's just look, they weren't great games today or great goals really.
Hmm.
Um, like Gakpo's, deflected. Uh,
Hmm.
I thought maybe the Denmark goal was decent, but a lot of very first round games.
Hmm.
Everyone very kind of the likes of Poland thinking like, okay, it doesn't matter because we've got this other game and we're going to win that. Yeah, very slow, very slow football being played. So I'm waiting for it to pick up a bit. It's very good, but I'm waiting for
I waiting for the
the
action
later
to really
games.
start. Yeah.
Yeah, where they kind of like we
Well, I
can't
mean, you had
kind
you
of
had
hedge.
what 4-1 start was the first game. 4-1, I think it was, right? That's a lot of goals.
Five. No, I just mean the kind of
Or
the
was it
more
five? Was
like
it 5-1? It was 5-1.
yeah, yeah. Germany beat Scotland, but the ones like the last game where it's kind of like, oh, we can't play for a draw here. We have to go for it. That kind of game.
Mm.
Like because the best third place teams can qualify.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah, you want to
the,
try to you don't want to gamble too much because you could still get
yeah,
into that next round by being the best third
just
place team.
one win.
Yeah.
If you win, one win and a draw, again, I get look, it's tight,
Yeah,
but
the
like a team
fun
like
doesn't
Scotland
really
now,
get underway, does it, until knockout stages? The group stages are what they are in tournaments, and then
usually, yeah, usually,
the
yeah,
fun really begins when you get to the knockout stages and you get two really strong sides paired together who can just go at it, and you can just
Hmm.
enjoy yourself like watching
Hmm.
whatever tournament
Yeah,
it's in.
yeah. Norm was saying they are not. I'll bring up his comment actually. Says this is regarding Holland. He says they are not good enough in fullback areas, defensive wise. That I can understand. Wise to win it. Virgil kept having to cover left back. Um, I if you look at this team, I know the Irishman gave his opinion on the team. I'm not going to say it's like reminiscent of some of those legendary Holland teams of the past. That's certainly true. Um, I'll bring up Hyler's comment in a second. Um,
I got a signed set list, Tyler. I got a signed set list.
there you go. There you go. But I do think there's some real talent on this Netherlands team, despite that's just my personal opinion. I think there's some real talent. I
Oh, they
mean, you
do. They
look at
have the play. They have players. Oh, I forgot to
yeah,
mention Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons, he's a good player.
yeah,
It's just
yeah. I was gonna say, I think Xavi's a good player. I think that obviously Cody plays well. Memphis Depay is um,
he's
it
hit and
is
miss.
what it is.
He's hit and
Yeah,
miss.
hit or miss with
He's hit and
him.
miss. Yeah.
But when it comes to
He
but
plays.
I
He
can
plays very well for Holland. He does. I will say he
right,
plays
but he
very
plays
well for Holland.
right. He's some players they don't play well with club teams, but when it comes to like their international team performances, it's a different game
Yeah.
plan. Let me bring in Dara real quick, and then
Oh,
I'll finish.
we got our.
Yeah, we
Oh,
got
I need no. Don't bring in Dara yet. We have our first ever caller. I have to find a random sound effect.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I mean,
Dara's
this has been
waiting
done on a flight. Yeah,
on
look.
pins and needles here. Yeah.
I'm sure he is. Oh, there's ads. Sorry, there's ads. But come on, look. This is our first ever caller. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, no, wait. Yeah, I'm doing this badly on
Okay.
purpose. I'm doing this badly on purpose. Sorry,
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that was worth the wait, wasn't it? That was
Absolutely.
worth the wait.
It's worth the wait. And now we have our friend, my fellow friend here in the state here, Dara. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, thank you. And thanks for having me on. I just wanted to wish everyone who's a father a happy Father's Day.
Absolutely. Good.
And as you would know, Mr. 12th,
yes.
I hope you're keeping cool.
Yeah, I know. Today's a hot one. Today's definitely
Every day's
a
a
hot
hot one. Absolutely.
You know what, Dara? It's good that you called in too, because so originally I told you how the I don't know if you were with us when I mentioned it, but the talent or the entertainment that I had come in, the artists I had come in.
That's better.
Right? The artist I had come in is a Spurs fan. I looked for that Spurs bar in Scottsdale. I think they moved it to Chandler though now.
They may well have done. I'm going back
Yeah.
a few years. That was on Granite Reef and McDowell, just east.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a dive, but yeah, I was on patrol. I think I went to a wreck. I went to a wreck. There were loads of Spurs fans at this bar early in the morning, and I didn't know that there were that many Spurs fans around the world because there was about 6 or 7 of them. But apparently there is a Spurs Spurs bar. There used to be, so that may have been.
There's quite a few Spurs fans in America, to be honest with you. I think out of all the clubs that represent from England, I'd say Spurs are probably top 5 of being appreciated here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but how are you doing today? How are you doing today? You keeping cool, I hope.
Yeah, trying to. I managed to watch some of the cricket, and then I watched the game. And I'm still looking for our midfield. I don't know where it's going.
Oh, okay.
That was my.
Are you under the same pretense as some of the other chat members in thinking that our midfield is better served possibly with like a Gallagher or even a Kobe in the midfield, or are you on board with this midfield with Trent involved in it?
I don't think that Trent is going to be the solution. Certainly not under Southgate. I think I would love us to go back to the, and Brian would remember this, the Glenn Hoddle midfield that we had going back many years ago. But we certainly need somebody like Gallagher, because when he came on, he made that difference to me. He really did. But what put us in that position really was Southgate, because he did exactly what he's done from 96 onwards. He played just for a 1-0. And I've seen it so many times before. I've seen it under old Sven, Goran Eriksson, when we had so much talent on the bench, including back in those days. Again, Brian would remember Theo Walcott sat on the bench as a 17-year-old, and he had so much talent, and he just didn't. He never played in that tournament, but regardless, the manager at the time, Sven, didn't know how to play him, and I think it's exactly the same with Southgate. So
with Southgate,
yeah, absolutely. And
what would be your midfield then? What would be your midfield?
Yeah, my midfield would be. I think the conundrum for me is Bellingham, because he is so versatile. He can literally play anywhere.
Yeah, but, absolutely incredible talent.
He is. I'm not sure that playing on the left is the best solution for him, but he would have to be in the midfield. And in the absence of, Trent wouldn't be there. From what I've seen, Gallagher, I like what he brings to the table.
Do you stick with a 4-2-3-1, or what's your formation too? Because maybe if you have a different formation, you could fit in some of the players that you really would like to see.
My formation would be 4-3-3, but that's not a Southgate formation.
Figured. Yeah,
that's not his formation.
Right.
He is a 4-2-3-1. That's the way he operates. And even if he doesn't, he would maybe play 4-3-3 when we're maybe 4-5-0 up, or
when. Where's that ever go? Okay, yeah, sorry. When you're 4 or 5-0 up, I can't.
Exactly. So basically,
San Marino. When we play San Marino, let's say.
Yeah. So he's not going to do that. So
right.
Despite all of the bravado that he comes across with, he is just going to nick 1-0 goal and just go on from there. That's it. So he's going to go back to type, and he doesn't know any other way. And I would have to give credit to Serbia. They did defend pretty well. But looking at that game, if you looked at the first half, I was amazed how Serbia lacked penetration down our left. Everything came from down our right hand side. So for the first 40 minutes, it was pretty much a one-sided game. And
but Saka does have that ability to really. He was showing he has the ability to really, take on that defender in this game. He was able to get by him pretty easily.
One of our best players, and who was in the middle? Nobody.
Yeah.
I know, and I agree with you, 12th. That was a very, very brave header from Bellingham.
Yeah.
But Saka skinned his man. He skinned the left back, crossed the ball, and there was no one there. So if you want to play that method, that's great. But you can't have Kane so deep, and Kane was too deep. And in my comments, like I said, he was a better defender. So the issue for me was zero midfield. So I don't know what you guys think, but we're not going to have. I know Brian thinks I don't rate Pirlo, but he's one of the greatest midfielders. A player like that that can control the ball. And if we're not going to get that, at least somebody we're not going to get Stevie G, but somebody that can break up the play, hold the ball, and distribute the ball. We didn't have that. We're relying on the genius of players like Bellingham. And that's not going to cut it.
Brilliant. Lee, do you have a take on what Dara is saying about the English squad? Do you agree with him or disagree?
Just to reiterate what I said earlier, there's always something missing with England that we can't go the whole way. We can get to semis, and we've been to a final recently. It was only the Euros, but semis and finals, we can just about make it once in a while, but we never go all the way. There's always a missing ingredient in the England team, we can't quite get there.
That's interesting. Irishman?
Yeah, well, no, I just want to thank Dara for coming on, and as always, he speaks well and he makes very good points. And yeah, no, he's a fan. He watches the game. He's an England man.
Who do you put on that left wing then? Who do you put? Who? Oh, real quick then, Irishman. Who do you think? Who would you put? And I'll ask you, and then I'll ask Dara, and then Lee, you can chime in too. Who then? If Foden isn't necessarily a left wing option, do you think that he has this formation wrong, and that and just as Dara suggested, he should go to a 4-3-3 and really mix it up a little bit more by taking Foden off of that wing, maybe utilizing him more as an option off the bench so you have a 1-2 punch with Jude and Foden.
Well, again, you have 11 positions on the pitch. We've spoken about this with Scotland. It's often the curse of the smaller nation. Say, for example, with Ireland and with Scotland having basically their two best players, Tierney and Robertson, both playing in the same position. We had, recently our team have dropped off a lot, and we've had two of our best players were right back. Yeah, our two of our best players were our goalkeepers, Bizuno and Kelleher. But there comes a point, and that point is usually when you're picking your team, where, as someone said earlier on, you just have to pick the best team. Even if you're a team like Georgia or Ukraine or Ireland or Finland, you're a smaller team. If you only have one spot in a team, and it just so happens the two of your best players, you have to make a decision. You just have to make a decision on who is the best guy to go into that spot, and that's what he's always going to get Shane for now. I don't like. How do you fit Foden, Saka, Bellingham, Kane, all these players into the same team without basically putting one of them? And this is the curse of the player like a Foden, who is so good that he can play anywhere, where he's never going to actually get to play in his best position, because that would mean negating the best of Bellingham. So if you want to put Foden into 10, then that means you can't have Bellingham doing what Bellingham does. So Foden is always going to be one of these guys who's probably going to get shunted to the left, where everyone knows he should play here. Like, he's playing Foden, he's putting him on the pitch. But look at Foden tonight. He did absolutely nothing. Saka did absolutely nothing. Kane did absolutely nothing. Bellingham scored his goal, looked great, but you can't ask him to do everything. Trent did nothing. Trippier did nothing. Rice, not his job. All the other boys. This is a Serbia team who didn't even try and push him. So there's a disconnect here, clearly, between the quality of the player on the pitch and the quality of the performance that's been put out. And you can't expect it at international level. Of course you can't. But
No,
there's a drop off here, where once that was 1-0 and it looked like, hang on a minute, one mistake and we're ending up with a draw here. Bang, attack, quick football, bang, 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 get a second or a third. You got Bellingham, you got Foden, you got Saka, you got Kane. Put this to bed. Didn't look like they were capable. It just didn't look like they were able to do it.
That midfield and forward line, all them midfielders on the forward line, like, that should win the tournament. But then you look at the defence, and then you know why England won't win the tournament, like, because the defence is just the midfield and the attack.
It's, you know what, Dara, give me your opinion on this then, because I've come up against a lot of conversations where I hear people, for instance, and I'll make the analogy to Liverpool. With that midfield that we had when we had, Ginny, and we had Hendo, we had, like, because Gallagher reminds me of, like, that kind of, like, workhorse, more so, like, he's a talented player, but you're not picking him because of his talent. You're picking him because of his, like, work ethic, and you're picking him probably because of his ability to understand follow instructions.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Follow instructions. When you have 3 group games and 1 qualifier or whatever, you just need players who are going to go out and do what you want them to do.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So where I was going to get is, like, or where I was going to go with it and ask your opinion on it. I remember I got into this little bit of a argument or debate, because sometimes, so often people are like, we need more techie players. We need more techie players. We don't need these guys with engines on the Liverpool. And I'm speaking about Liverpool, at least. We don't need these guys with engines. We need more technical players that have more skills and everything else. But then you run into the case where a lot of those guys are creative. They don't necessarily want to they don't want to always color inside the lines, And because of that, it's harder to maintain that system. But you are going to have some incredible goals. You have some incredible players and moments of individual brilliance. But for you, and this is open for the chat too, are you more of like do you like to see your midfield be a workhorse, more of that workhorse, like, James Milner, Hendo, that kind of mentality midfield? Or do you want to see the midfield that England somewhat has right now, which is a midfield which has, in all relativity, has, a Saka, shading back, playing that midfield / winger position. You have the Foden's shifting back, playing that midfield, if not winger position. And then you have Bellingham, you have Trent, you have these players that are more offensively gifted. Where's your thoughts on that?
Was that for me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Southgate, even from when he was the under-21 manager, he was a 4-4-2 formation guy. And I still think he's struggling to adapt to a more progressive type of football. And I think we saw that today. So he can't gel the midfield with the front line or our defense. So for me, even though I hate it, I think the best way forward for England is a 4-4-2. Now, I know a lot of people would say that's regressive, but we have zero midfield. And whether it's Rice and Gallagher in the middle, and whether we use Foden and maybe Saka on the right with the front two of whoever, maybe Manu and Kane up front.
You put Manu up front?
Yeah, I would.
So what are you going to have him as being like necessarily like a shadow striker, or you're going to have him be just?
Well, maybe just behind Kane, but
right.
You still have that option, or you could even push. Well, you got to have Bellingham in there, so Bellingham could be just behind. So with Manu on the bench, because I honestly think that Bellingham has the talent, as we've already discussed. He can play anywhere. And
why not put Jude then in the front line with him, and then have him like?
That's what I just said.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah. So, and he's done that for Madrid, and it's just the. It's not that we don't have the talent. I think it's Southgate doesn't have the nous to do it. He's shown that time and time again for us to play in a fluid 4-3-3, and you all know that you all have to link together. We don't. We just don't do that. So, like Serbia did today with 5. Well, they had 9, 10 at the back, and they soaked up the pressure. I think 4-4-2 is the best way for us to go until we get to maybe the latter stages, if we do. But for him to play 4-3-3, I don't think he knows how to coach it, because we had no width until Saka started taking on the left back. I forget his name. Nothing down our left side, zero. And that's why Kane was isolated. And he was basically basically playing as a midfielder and then as a centre half. And that's not how you want to play.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the nous that Klopp had. Klopp knew his players, and he knew how to extract their strengths and have them gel together. Southgate doesn't. So
I'll tell you the truth. Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. Like I know that he's a 4-2-3-1 guy, but considering he took the number of strikers that he did on this team, I thought maybe you would see something. Maybe he would, break out a 4-4-2 or try to utilize the fact that he does have some strikers that have some real, because you're probably not going to see much of Ivan Toney or even Ollie Watkins, who both, or at least Ollie Watkins more so than Toney, was in form. And those are two players that can create some chaos. And I mean, having them as options up front to
Tony's had the season, Watkins has had the season of his life.
Yeah.
He didn't even, he was warming up. They said, I think it was 82 minutes or something like that. The commentator said, Ollie Watkins is warming up. And I was like, oh yeah, Ollie Watkins is there. Forgot about him.
Yeah.
Or you can even 82 minutes. No chance.
Or it's funny. You can even utilize even Cole Palmer could play up front too as well.
He certainly could. And if you look at the history of European and World Cup tournaments, 4-4-2 has more than often been successful. So we all want to play sexy football. But every single
4-4-2 is solid. You need
Sorry?
solidity at an international tournament to win it. Like, you've got to be a good defence, and it's more often than not the team with the best defence that wins the trophy. Above sides that have got more firepower. The tightest team at the back often wins the trophy.
Absolutely. So we, like I said, if you look back in the history of the Euros and the World Cup, many of the teams that have won both those tournaments have played effectively at 4-4-2. So they like to project a 4-3-3, but in essence, it's a 4-4-2. So
Yeah.
I have no issues with that. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I'm not sure who you have up front to be able to carry those things out, and I don't think basically you have the manager. I think, yeah, I fully agree with you that where you have now in essence everybody kind of will defend in a 4-4-2. It's not what we might think of, say an Owen and a Heskey, a big man, a little man. It's not really
or,
that.
Yeah, like
But
El Nino and Dirk Kuyt or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for England. I don't really see like what I would do if I was Southgate in a match like that. I'd
Resign?
be look. I'd have I would, and this would be a kind of a wild card call or whatever. But any Arsenal fan that's in the chat, any Arsenal fan that's out there watching you, and ask them where did Saka break into the Arsenal team? Where did he play?
Oh.
Where was his first possession? Left back.
Mm-hmm.
Played left back.
Mm-hmm.
He played left back. He played left wing back. Then he switched
I believe
over.
he played right back as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
I would put him at left back. I'd have Saka in at left back against a team like Serbia. Guarantee he's doing a job.
If I remember correctly, Saka played left wing back in the last tournament or the one before that. He did play a game at left wing back for England when we had like a 3-5-2. Can't remember who he
can
played.
do it.
I remember Saka played left wing back for England.
It's Serbia, it's like that can get you him in, and that means like when you have a player like Bellingham, like you were talking about 4-4-2, Dara, right? So that gives me a Bellingham, right? That gives me a Bellingham problem, right?
I agree.
That's what that gives me.
I agree.
Right, and it gives you a Foden problem. So, I like the idea because we've been speaking about this over the last week. Is modern tactics and how will they change? Of course they'll change.
Mm-hmm.
4-4-2. Nobody does it. No, in 50 years' time, two strikers might be the thing again. In 10 years' time, it might be the thing again. But you have to get Bellingham in that team. And can you trust him in it too? I don't think he will. So go even with a 4-4-1-1, but give Bellingham a free role.
Well, like as a number 10.
Yeah, look what he does. Right? We've been saying it tonight. Look, I've been saying if he stays fit and he stays healthy, you're talking about a guy who can be the next Beckenbauer. Like he can start almost up front now for Madrid. When he's 32, he could probably be the best sweeper in the world.
I would argue
he can play
even
defensive
better.
midfield.
I'd argue even better.
He's not even 21, and he is complete. He is complete.
And
I've never seen anything like it. His mentality is elite.
And I just wanted to mention something. Has anyone noticed how big Bellingham has become? He's a beast now. He really has. He's grown like 2-3 inches, and he's filled out. And like Brian was saying, at 21, I mean, he's a big unit.
But I spoke to Ant. I was talking to 12 Man. I was on Ant's show earlier. We were talking about like the list of players who have gone to Madrid and been swallowed up and spat back out again. Big players who cost big money with big reputations. 25, 26. That lad that came on tonight, Luka Jovic, they spent 60 million on him. He went to Madrid. He crumbled. He couldn't take the pressure.
Yeah, he never
he ended up at Frankfurt. Bellingham walked into Madrid as a 20-year-old, started scoring winners in Clásicos and hat-tricks in World Cup. It's just like, Jesus Christ, what the hell? This guy just walked into Madrid and said, "Don't worry, yeah, I get it. It's Madrid." Bang. No, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. I think Benzema not being there also made a difference, but yeah, I agree with that. For him to be able to do a lot of the things that he did, because they would have probably been like bumping into each other almost in essence. Like if you have a Benzema trying to play that false nine, and Bellingham trying to go forward or trying to be in the offensive mindset. But I was going to say, then do you guys then say you pick talent over system players, or would you be comfortable seeing system players over talent? Because you just said it yourself, like if they were going to be a 4-3-3, Foden might not be able to work out that well for that for your system, or how do you fit in Saka? But you look at this team. They have as a on the bench. They have Palmer on the bench. They have Tony on the bench. They have Watkins on the bench. They have Anthony Gordon, who I think would be Gordon would be a better. And this is again, I don't like Gordon as a player or a person, but I mean Gordon would be a better option as a wing player for this team than I think Foden would be, to be honest with you. Do you disagree? And I'll start off with Dara. And yeah, do you have an opinion on that, Dara?
Absolutely. I think at this early stage in the tournament, you need to play the formation that's going to get you the results, to get you through to the next stage. Not necessarily win the whole tournament, because you're going to need some creativity. You're going to need to use, without doubt, the talent that we have in the squad. Right now, Southgate is just, I don't know what he's trying to do. He's basically scraping his knuckles to get through to the next round. But he's not going to go any further unless he incorporates the talent that we have. So I would stick with a rather conservative approach, which he did, to be fair, in the second half, but too conservative. He doesn't seem to have the right balance. So he can't go out gung-ho because we're going to lose. And we could have lost today.
Could have. Yeah.
And as you progress and you play the heavyweights, if he plays the same way, we have no chance. So we may as well give up. So as we progress through the rounds, if we do, then he's going to have to incorporate the more talented players. And I'm not sure he knows how to do that. So for me, looks like, just stick with getting through this round, progress, and then see where we can go from there. So
I think that's what you kind of saw by him, taking out Jude. And by the way, Jude was getting beat up, by the way, by Serbia was putting a couple of boots and elbows and like hips, hip checks as they call them.
Well, there were no yellow cards. I mean, it was.
They have a punch for that. And
he got there was one yellow card. There was a yellow card
in that area.
There did the one where I think it wasn't really a yellow card. I think it was more so he gave the yellow card because of all the other tackles before that, because it was the one where he kind of like Bellingham didn't really have control of the ball, but the Serbian player kind of like stopped and put his backside like out, or kind of like thrust his hip out a little bit, and Bellingham went over and got hit and went down, and he got the yellow card for that. Because the guy who got the yellow card got subbed out in the second half. His name's it's spelled Gudelj. Again, I sometimes my pronunciation, I don't want to mispronunciate words. Jude, Nemanja, Judo,
Cool.
Something.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. 7 out of 10.
He got the, but you're right though. There were a lot more yellows that probably could have been issued from some of those tactics.
Can I just ask the panel one question?
Go ahead.
Is there one standout midfielder for England other than? I mean, if you want to define Bellingham as a midfielder, and maybe Foden, which you can, but let's say you take them out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
How does England's midfield look?
Not very good.
I thought you were gonna say. I mean, like, yeah. For midfield, I thought initially thought you were gonna say stand out for the entire team. I possibly would
stand
say
out just for midfield and
just for the midfield though. Okay,
yeah, because
gotcha.
you could play Foden and you could play Bellingham as attacking players, so you could remove them from the midfield. Okay,
right.
So
I get you completely, Dara. 100%. Yeah, I'm already removing Bellingham and Foden from that, so that leaves me
with nothing.
Gallagher, Wharton.
Yeah, I'd say Gallagher. Yep.
It leaves me Gallagher, Wharton, Mainu, and Rice. I think that's the squad that you brought. So out of those four, Mainu, obviously an outstanding young talent. You don't get picked for the Euros after one season with having the minerals, and Grealish gets left at home. Wharton gets the call up again. Basically, last season he's at Blackburn. This season he comes to Crystal Palace. Nobody's ever heard of him. He plays, half a season. Nobody's still ever heard of him. Oliver Glasner comes in, turns around Crystal Palace. Everyone's talking about Eze and Elise. Next thing you know, this Wharton guy is in the England squad. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Don't know anything about him. Mainu the same. So, the only thing I can say really, realistically, is Declan Rice is obviously, one of the, the top players in his bracket, in his position in the league at the moment. So, yeah, it's like with your centre half pair, Dara. I'd say to you, what happens when, if/when John Stones picks up an injury? Because we all know John Stones can't go 2 weeks without getting an injury, and this tournament is a month long. So what is England's central defensive pairing then? Are you talking Dunk and Gahey, Brandt, or Konza and Gahey?
That's why.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
We got Maguire coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
Is he getting a recall? Is he? They're going to have to send out a. Yeah, I think he's already. Well, he's not. I was going to say he's on holiday in Mykonos. He ain't going back to Greece. I don't think they cleared that.
Old Slabhead is going to be required to rise from the slab. Frankenstein's.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster. That's what he looks like to me, an ogre. He reminds me of an ogre. I'm always looking for a beanstalk in the background when he appears to see if he's just climbed down one.
He very much does. Yeah, Palmer and Bowen, I see them as attackers, Saka attacker. As in terms of like an actual out and out central midfielder, I think you're talking Rice, Gallagher, and this Wharton and Mainu kids.
Yeah. I tell you, it's a sad thing. Maybe you see Joe Gomez in midfield.
I hope he gets a game. I hope he gets some minutes because he's our player, and he'll like it. He wants it, so I want it for him. But I don't want to see him in midfield. Centre back, yes. Coming on as
that was tongue in cheek. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I know.
But I was my answer to your question, Dara, would have been, I think that Gallagher is probably going to be more of a pivotal player for this team than people really anticipate because of what you just said. I mean, I would have gone with Declan Rice. I just think, though, that with this team, if you're going to have Declan Rice and Trent in that midfield, someone's going to have to play defense, and I don't know. And Declan likes to go forward, so this midfield needs someone that is going to do that, hard hat, do the, the heavy lifting style, like allowing for the other players to kind of like be creative and do what they need to do, which is score goals. And I think that Gallagher is that player that will go and sacrifice his own, glory for the team, I think personally. And I
No,
would
I
have went
wouldn't. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't
and
agree with that at all. To be honest.
and then I would have also said that Stones is probably one of the most pivotal players on the team, considering that the center back position for this England team is definitely a little bit lacking, to say the least, right now. And if you do go into the point of having a case where Stones does go down, then this England back line, is going to be very much in trouble. That's at least, and I think even Trippier even had a little bit of a scare today too. I thought that he for a second.
He's had a good career for England, Trippier. He's had some good performances and been part of some half-decent displays. He's done well for England, Kieran Trippier. Come from Burnley, didn't he, to Spurs, then on to City. What am I on about? Burnley to Spurs, and then he bloody sold. Who did he sell Trippier to for good money? Where did he go?
Newcastle.
Newcastle, that was the one.
Yeah. Well, big up, Dara. Thank you for joining today, man. You should definitely you're for the first time that we've had call-ins. You're the first caller.
Yeah.
That's good. It would be fitting that my fellow Arizonan is the first caller. So I appreciate that big time. I know that you represent me, but you are Arizona in my eyes as well.
Well, we're both dying in the heat.
Yeah, exactly.
Echo and the Bunny Man plays in Arizona recently.
We're going through a heat wave, Lee. That's why he's saying that too.
Well,
We are in the middle
I
of
just wouldn't.
42 degrees Celsius today. Right now, it's 42 degrees Celsius. Which is pretty crazy. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I just think Rice is the guy that does hold. Like, well, he's the guy that holds. It is Gallagher, and I don't think it would be. Like, I understand what you're saying is he would sacrifice, but I don't agree with that. He would come in and say he's prepared to sacrifice his personal glory to facilitate the team. I don't think any player goes into the team wanting it to be about his personal glory. I think they all go in wanting to do what. Like Trippier gave an interview today. He said, "I wouldn't care where I was picked. If you pick me to play in goal, I'll play in goal." I don't think there's anyone going in and going, "Oh well, what I'll do is I'll sacrifice, my want and my need in a game to play." They're like Conor Gallagher getting to play for England is a massive honor for them. They do whatever it is. I don't think anyone is in there going, "Yeah, I'm prepared to sacrifice what I would be able to do." Gallagher is a decent player, but it's not like he's Jude Bellingham being asked to play at centre half.
And could I just add to that? Can anyone remember an England midfield where somebody like Gallagher, again, I agree with Brian, he's a good player, but I can think of many midfields that we've had where he wouldn't have been in the squad.
Yeah.
And yet, and he is our focal point in terms of the Endo type role, the breakup role, whether he's a 6, an 8, you name it. He would not be anywhere near the 96, 2000, 04, 08, and we can go on. And Wharton, I don't know too much about, but it's
Crystal Palace player.
I know where he plays, but
I'm just stating it for the chat.
In terms,
that's all.
In terms of his experience, and there's a massive issue. And in terms of our centre halves, I think it's the same. Is Gomez? I know he's in the squad. Is he fit?
Yeah,
He
he's
is,
he's fit. Yeah,
yeah,
nothing wrong with
yeah,
Joe. Yeah, good
yeah,
stuff.
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, that would
But
be another option for me. But yeah, I'm just very, very concerned about our midfield. That's
Who
the
do you
reason
play
why I'm
next?
going.
Sorry, I meant to ask this. Sorry. Who do you play next?
I'm not sure. Is it Denmark?
it is Denmark. It is.
Yeah, you see, that's a different. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You have to base on who you're playing next as well.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
Denmark is a step up from Serbia.
right.
It
And
is
then
a
the
definite
last game is
step up.
against. I don't. I think that England lucked out in that. I don't think that this group is exactly the strongest of groups, to say the least. Or Denmark's a good team. No, all due respect, but I don't think that they have Slovenia.
It's a
Slovenia,
really easy group. Really
yes,
easy. I watched all the Slovenia. Look, thanks for turning up and all that, but wow, like
right, right.
really gave nothing. You got a good keeper. Sesko's probably going to score the goal of the tournament, but he'll probably do nothing else.
Right,
Yeah,
right. I
they've
mean,
got a
you're dealing with
really handy group.
Hoiberg. You're dealing with uh.
Yeah,
I think Christian Eriksen is their one of their main guys, obviously, and he scored the goal today too for
yeah,
Denmark.
yeah.
But
Very, again, another mistake almost. But no,
yeah,
look, that's a super handy group.
yeah,
Like if England didn't come out of that group, it would be one of the biggest shocks of all
I've
time.
seen
exactly.
England. I've seen
Especially
England
considering the
had
third place
groups, mate,
teams
over
can.
my time. I've
No,
seen
but if
England
you imagine,
had some
yeah,
really good groups.
but Lee, even if you bear in mind they've already won a game, and that sometimes like the best third place teams can qualify. So it's the
Yeah.
top two, and if you win like a game and get a draw, you'll probably qualify for third. If you don't, so it's
England's
almost
often win
impossible
their
not to
first
qualify.
group game and then limp
Yeah.
through.
Yeah,
Denmark will be
Like,
difficult.
just
Denmark
don't
will
get
not be
through.
easy.
Even when England
they're
have
not going
done
to be an
well
easy team.
before,
No,
like
No,
Italian.
Denmark will not be easy.
but they're not
It
like I
won't
don't
be.
think anyone has Denmark. My point is, I don't think anyone has Denmark marked as a team that they expect to go deep into this tournament.
No,
And I don't think anyone had Slovenia
No,
or Serbia, even the likes of Serbia, going anywhere really in this tournament. That's why I just think Group C wasn't exactly the
it's a
best.
really it's a buy. It should be a buy. But at the same time, if a team like Serbia can restrict England to one goal over 80 minutes, then what could a resolute Denmark team do if they score
Point.
early?
Yeah, good point.
Like England need to be a little bit more ruthless here. They can't rely on Bellingham.
Can I just ask a quick question to the panel? And hi, Lee. My question would be, do you think Southgate adjusted his tactics based on the fact that there was a 1-1 draw in our group with Denmark and I think it was Slovenia? Do you think he was taking that into consideration?
That's where you. That's where you. I personally think he was. I think that's a good point, Dara. I think that he was. He was. I think by him bringing in a more defensive, like bringing in Kobe or Jude, making some of the changes that he made. I think bringing in Gallagher, obviously for Trent, he was already in his mind thinking, let's hold on to this 1-0 lead. It's not about goal differential in this group. Most likely, it's just going to be about wins and draws. And I think that he already sees it as like a win. If you get a win in that group, in Group C, the Group C that we just mentioned, it will go a long way. So I think that he definitely, in my humble opinion, I think he definitely did his old Southgate and was preparing for this. Get out with the 1-0, go on to Denmark, which is going to be a difficult game, probably to get a win. Most likely will end up in a draw, possibly a draw in that game, and that's just my opinion on that. You have an opinion, Lou?
Growing up in England, it's funny seeing some of the vitriol aimed at England managers. There's been some funny stuff like, but my favourite was like Graham Taylor when he was England manager, and he used to call him Turniphead because like he said a load of old bollocks like after we got beat. And he called him a turnip and turniphead, and there used to be a picture of a turnip with his face like superimposed over the front of it. Like it was bloody hilarious. I was a schoolboy then, like, so you know what I mean. That type of stuff was more likely to make me titter, like. But I think everyone found that funny. All the adults found it funny as well. The male football fans, poor old Graham Taylor. Catch a break after Watford, like, and we missed out on going to America in USA '94 for him, but he turned up as a bastard.
That's right. You guys did miss out on '94.
Phil Neal was his number 2.
He certainly was.
Yeah. Funny enough, Phil Neal was our greatest ever number 2. Probably, yeah. You'd have to give it to Phil Neal, even above like Chris Lawler and Steve Nicol. Phil Neal was after but he was like his number 2. He was sitting next to Taylor on the bench in like Euro '92 in Sweden. When we were crap in that Euro '92 in Sweden, mate. It was a bust, that one. I can't even remember. We were limp. I don't think we even won a game. It was one of them where England went and we never even won a game. We just got tanned and sent home dead quickly. Like, it was embarrassing.
Did you have a take on it? Would you want to offer an answer for Dara? Yes, for his last question.
Is that to me? Yeah. I mean, I've just been trying to follow the discourse there for the last 2 minutes, and I need reminding of what the question might actually have been.
The question was, do you think that Southgate adjusted the tactics?
Oh yes, I completely. Yes, I remember. Yeah. I liked it. It was like someone said to me, Dara, yesterday that they were talking about Trent deciding when to play and when to have a game. I'd love to be that good as a manager that I could decide to win a game 1-0. I get what you're saying and I understand the logic behind it, but I don't think, as everyone keeps saying, he's not that good, that he could say, right, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm not going to win this game 2-0. I'm going to win it 1-0. I really don't think he was thinking that. I think this guy would have bitten your arm off for a second goal and a third goal.
Yeah. Harry Kane almost had a second goal today.
Yeah, I don't think he has the ability to play those fine margins. It's a game of football. We were playing 82 minutes, and I said to Ant, we were doing a live stream together, I said, one mistake, and you're in the soup, mate. One mistake. One bad pass, one slip.
So you're saying I'm giving him too much credit?
Yes, I believe you are giving far too much credit for the amount of control he may exert over a game. Yes, he looked at that result. Of course, you look at that result and go, okay, this means this. He's pragmatic. He's the kind of guy who I think there's an awful lot of talk about. He's going to do this. He's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think once he leaves the England setup, which I believe is confirmed that this is his last job, he's leaving at the end of this tournament. Potentially, he might get a management job somewhere, maybe. But I just see him spending the next, I see him potentially never managing again.
I
being a technical director.
Yeah,
A director of football, a director of this, a director of that, an overseer type guy, but not an actual. He's not a Premier League manager.
No,
absolutely no way is he getting a Premier
Yes,
League job.
He absolutely is. He should be the future Red Devil coach.
Mate,
when Eric Sevenhagen gets fired early, let him go and coach Manchester United. Or even better, let him be Manchester City's coach.
He wants that job that means all the coaches get fired, but he doesn't get fired.
Right.
He's he's got technical director of
Yeah,
Brentford
that's such a great
written all
call,
over
that
him.
Brian. You're spot on there, mate. It's a great call. He's got it like stamped on his forehead, and he basically,
Yeah.
you can see that's what he's going to be, a big FA supremo.
Oh, totally FA. Yeah.
Uh,
In 20 years' time, president of England football. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
God
Yeah.
forbid. God forbid. And don't forget
Yeah.
Stefan Shaw as a number 2 for Liverpool.
Oh,
who?
Stefan
Stefan
Shaw.
Shaw. Yeah, what a
Stefan
player.
Honcho.
What a player.
He's coming with Arnie Plot, yeah?
Yeah, you were talking about number 2s. And
Yeah.
he's a
What a
kind of
player.
a forgotten man.
Not in my house. Not
I
in my
think
Hippie and
Well,
Honcho.
Honcho's brilliant,
What a
yeah.
pairing. That Hippie
No,
and
it's just
Honcho is what a pairing.
it's just you were talking about number 2s, and Oncho is
Oh, our
star.
numbers game the other night.
Well, yeah, or
The
number
numbers
2s.
game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I had
Yeah.
Honcho.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
Honcho
Oh,
was
sorry. I thought you meant Honcho was
Yeah.
coming in with Arnie Slot to be our number 2.
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
he'd be in our starting lineup.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. For the number, we did that episode where we had the number. We went through the kit numbers and such.
Yeah. I forgot Honcho used to play too because Babel was
Yeah.
6 at right back. Babel was 6 at right back. Honcho was 2 at centre back. Hippier was whatever he was. Hippier's wasn't it? It was a larger number. Hippier's wasn't it when he started? What was Hippier's number?
Then he went to 3, I think.
I thought he
I
was
can't
4.
remember. Yeah. You get all the random, like when they come in and they like 27 or 27 or whatever, and then like someone leaves and then they get like a proper number.
I can
But
check for you.
Hip.
I think I could check for you.
I can't remember who I picked as my actual number 2 in that list, but Honcho was my first kind of honorable, but it must have been someone really good. It might have been Rob Jones or something. But I know Honcho was definitely my first sub, as it were, on number 2.
And you
It
did
must have
mention
been someone really good.
And you did mention Mark Wright too, another underrated player.
Oh, he got in as my number 4 because actually we don't have a brilliant. Like, I'm not saying Mark Wright was amazing. He was good, but if you actually looked at the people who wore number 4 in the Premier League, it wasn't actually brilliant. Like, you had McAteer and a few people like that. But
I'm not sure if I saw McAteer as a number 4.
No, but what I'm saying is he wore the 4, so that was the parameters
Right.
of the thing. Like, he had to, if he wore 4, so oh yeah, sure, he played right wing, left wing, right back. Like for Ireland, he played everywhere. Right wing, left wing, number 8, right. I think for us, he probably was more of a kind of an attacking fullback or right winger.
Oh, he was he was a great player.
Good. Yeah, he was good. He was good, but it wasn't like Look, all of the problem with all these boys, the McAteers and the Peaknicks and the Kavarmas, is
I
that
wouldn't
they
say
came after
Peaknick, not Torben. Come on.
Yeah, but they came after the Rushes and the Barnes, and it wasn't just that they weren't brilliant. It was that the team they just come after. Like Souness bought some really bad players. Let's just admit it. Dix, Ruddock, Kavarma, Peaknick.
Too many to mention.
Yeah, too many to mention.
Paul Stewart.
Yeah,
Paul
and
Stewart's abysmal.
You put him up against what had just come before. It was like, wow.
I agree, but it kept Tottenham Hotspur happy.
Yes, 2.5 million for Paul Stewart. Thank you very much.
Oh my word! Yes,
I thought he bought Paul Stewart because Paul Stewart had tight curly hair, like Souness did, and he thought that's what I'm having: tight curly hair. He'll be my enforcer in midfield. Enforcer. Oh, he was dog shit. He couldn't tackle anyone. He was too fat, and his ball skills were crap as well. Buying him from Spurs, mate. He was the one that done me head in because when I heard we were buying him, I was dead excited. I thought, yeah, that'll work. And then he was just dog shit.
Well, if you want tight, curly hair from a player that can actually play, it's going to be hard to beat Mr. Keegan.
It was weird.
Oh,
I was used to our signings always working in the past up to that point when Souness took over and bought like Paul Stewart and that. Growing
he
up in the
did.
past, that when we bought the player, they were actually good and fitted our system. He bought so much excrement Souness, he just piled it in. Just went, yeah, let's get some more of that, more of that. Oh, it was hideous,
Real
mate.
quick.
It was hideous. You know?
Yeah, go.
Real
Luke,
quick
yeah,
before we end, because we're gonna be landing the plane here before we get to the 2 hour mark. Group of depth. I don't think we got that. I don't think we mentioned or got a group of depth in this tournament. Do you have a group of depth, Dara, for this tournament? Do you think what is the most difficult group in this tournament for you for the Euros?
I'm not sure that there is one. I think this is a really open tournament. I really do. I think maybe Group D, but there isn't one. I think it's very open.
Okay.
So,
do you have one Irishman, and then we'll go to Lee?
Do I have a what now?
Do you have a group of do you have a group of death? You know how they say the group of death, like asking the most difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is? Do you have one for this tournament, or do you agree? Or are you on the same page as Dara, thinking that it's more of like an open tournament? It's very well balanced across the board.
Well, I would be I would be lying if I didn't say that I was looking up what the groups are right now.
Okay, all right. I can give it to you if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. There is one. I know there is one that's got like 3 really good teams in it. I can't remember what is it. The one with? Sure, no, it's not that one.
Group
there is
B
one. There's definitely
B,
one.
For me, I think Group B probably would be the closest. Let me go. Group B was Spain.
Do you want to help me out
Italy,
here? Yeah.
Spain, Italy. Croatia's a good team, even though they didn't show up. But Croatia's a good team. Spain's a good team. Italy always, relatively always does well. And then you have Albania in that group.
Well,
I think that they're the closest. This is my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, that is the one.
Group B. Group D. Group D that Dara mentioned is Netherlands, Austria, France, and Poland. I think the only reason why I didn't go with Group D, that's a very tough group, is only because if Lewandowski was playing for Poland and he was like fit, I'd be like, okay, yeah. But because he wasn't, that's the reason why Group D.
They're hoping. Well, he's on the bench today. They're hoping he'll be back. But yeah, that is also a very, very tough. That's a very tough group. Poland today were quite dangerous. Again, another team that looked. I'd be very reluctant to judge any team on the first game.
Yeah. Let them get their form. Let them get their run. Yeah. Get the nerves out. The butterflies out.
Yeah, and just also sometimes if you lose a game or you draw a game, it narrows your focus. When you come into a group as they say a middling team, as a team that might qualify, might not, whatever. But once if you lose your first game or you draw your first game, then it's like, right, you have to do this, and then that narrows the focus. Which for some teams it is a benefit, for some it's not. But there's very few really bad teams in this competition.
Right.
Like everybody has, even the kind of bad teams, say like an Albania or something like that. They have good players. So
you have good players on Albania. That's why I said that group is not an easy group.
That's the level. That group is
not an easy group.
Yeah, that's the level now. Like even the worst, like even Serbia. I mean, I'm not saying one of the worst teams, but they were pretty poor today. Yeah, but I mean, like they've got Mitrovic, Vlahovic, who was an £80 million striker for Juve, is for Juve, was been linked with Tadic, who has been one of the best players in Europe for the last 5 years, outside of the bigger leagues. Ridiculous consistency. Scored like 30 goals for Ajax not that long ago, like a quality player, and they can't score. Okay, that's not great, but most of these, like even like I say, like Slovenia have a Sesko, who Man United would have paid 80 million for this year until he decided to stay at his club and go, oh no, I'll go next year. A guy who Inter, Real Madrid, all would have put down 60, 70, 80 million for this guy. He's playing for Slovenia. So you've got
There's a lot of
people
good
out
players,
there that can, they're all out there. The level is good, is what I'm saying.
Yes, agreed.
The level is good, but like even Hungary, say like we have
I thought Group A. I think Group A is
playing for Hungary.
Group A is a close second. I think that Germany, Switzerland, Hungary, Scotland in Group A. It's not an easy walk in the park for Germany, but Germany having that home field advantage is going to help.
Yep.
And that Scotland game, wow! I mean, I actually felt sorry for Scotland. That's a horrible way to start
after the first
tournament.
half. They were dumb. They were dumb.
Yeah.
You're about to say something real quick, Dara? And then Lee, I didn't mean to cut off. You're about to say something?
Oh no, I was just going to say, no, I agree. It's they're all pretty close, the groups, and I hope Dominic shows his or gets back to his when he first started at Liverpool and he started playing well. And he can show that for Hungary. And I agree with Brian that it's not like back in the day when you had your minnows, even the Greeks before they won. And I forget which year they won the Euros.
2004.
2004. That's right. They were minnows and your San Marinos. We had so many teams that really had no chance, and those days have gone. So it's very hard to say what is a group of death. So it's completely changed.
But let's just say, sorry, quick, like to what you were saying, Dara, a real quick example, right? Say Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Say Georgia are playing a team tomorrow, like Italy or whatever, and it's 1-0, or 0-0, and it's 76 minutes. Georgia have this kid, Kvaratskhelia, world class player. He can turn something on and stick one in the top corner.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Next thing you know, so every one of these teams, even the almost right down to the smaller teams, has one player or two players that are playing at a really high level.
I would agree, but that never used to be the case, Brian.
No, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You're completely right. It's like this is the level in European football now. It's just like, okay, wow, that guy, and that's what's great about the international game. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're Messi. If you're Messi and you're born in Latvia, dude, you play for Latvia. You can't transfer to Italy. That's what I like about these things is you get to see some of the best players in the world playing for like Lewandowski of Poland. It's
or Germany, depending on the point of view.
Yes, exactly.
So sorry, there was a big debate over Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But yes, so we're at the 2-hour mark. I did put in those those names in case you guys did want to.
Yes, obviously I forgot it was VVD. I knew there was an obvious.
It was VVD who got it.
Yeah, it was.
I knew it was. So it was either between Hippia or VVD, I think. And we were trying to play some. We were trying to put them into the.
Well, that was
it ended up working out for us that the players that we selected were pretty much all able to play in a role that correlates with their number in essence, but because Stevie Nichols is a great player.
I'm still dreaming about that Van Dijk Hippia centre back pairing. I'm still dreaming about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That'd be the business, but everything taken care of there.
Yeah.
Rocketeer.
Well, before I let you go, I did put in my England or English players for my Liverpool 11.
Oh,
So,
we have that show. We have that show ready for you. Good.
okay, I already put my players in. So
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're hopefully hopefully when you'll be able to tune in and maybe possibly even be a part of the show. But definitely, I know that you and Brian has some very very in-depth thoughts that go into who you had as your selections for those teams. So I definitely would like to.
Brian and I go back a long way. So.
Too far. Dara and Lee, I know I'm not asking, or I'm not. I'm just saying, if he can, when we end the show, don't leave, because we'll just be a minute backstage. So just let it run. If you have to go, I mean, but if you can wait when we end the stream.
Yeah, I know it's late. I know it's late, and I know it's late in the UK right now.
We might just have like just a minute chat afterwards, but don't hit leave unless you have to. Then cool. But
no, I don't need to. I mean, I'm on 12th time, so.
If you just you don't hit to leave. So don't hit leave when the stream ends. Just wait, and we'll be backstage.
We'll all chat backstage about that England show. But we're gonna land the plane here, fellas and ladies. We would like to thank you for joining us today after seeing England and seeing the Dutch also win today. If you watched the draw, of course, you got to watch the draw. But is there anything you'd like to say to our chat and before we allow them to go on to their final destinations, Lee?
Bye, everyone. Thanks for taking part.
Okay. Dara, would you like to say anything to the chat or before?
Yes, again, I'd like to say wish everyone who's a father happy Father's Day. Nice to meet you, Lee. And for you in particular, 12th, stay cool and nice to have a chat with you, Brian.
Yeah.
Don't leave, by the way. Don't leave. Just
right.
Okay.
Yeah. And Brian, would you like to say anything before we part?
No, what Bernie said, what Bernie was saying, and we didn't mention it enough. Alan Hansen is still.
Yes.
Alan Hansen is still battling. So
still battling
until we hear anything else. Jockey, as anyone knows, Jockey. So keep fighting, Jockey.
Yeah, definitely. All best wishes to Alan and to his family and to everyone that is out there that obviously is with you in this struggle and this fight. We definitely ask for you to continue that battle.
Absolutely. He's only 69.
Yeah.
He's only 62, Dara.
I heard 69.
He's only 60. No, man, he's too young. Stay around, Jock. Stay around, man.
Yeah. I would like to say, and also happy Father's Day to Alan Hansen, too, by the way.
Thank you.
And yes, happy Father's Day to everyone out there. And I'd also like to say, please continue to take care of your physical and mental health. It's very important that you do so because so often, we don't have. He is 69. I know. I didn't want to get into Bernie and Norm, but but it's okay. I would definitely. We have some news maybe tomorrow. Okay. Just looking at Daz's thing. But yeah, definitely would like to say thank you guys for joining us after the game. We will have our Monday. We have the mastermind quiz tomorrow, by the way. We're going to be bringing we have a bunch of good shows lined up for this week. We have the England 11 versus the Irish 11 of Reds. We have the mastermind competition that will obviously champion someone as being the mastermind.
Have we confirmed contestants for that? Have we got a panel lined up?
I just saw that I have
Are
a
we?
voicemail from a voice message from Cal from Kopish. So hopefully it's a positive. If not, we will figure out a third competitor if it's a negative. But all the same, it's
If
the
it's a
biggest
negative,
positive.
it's you.
Right. It's
You're
the
stepping
biggest
in.
positive.
Yeah.
The biggest positive is that you guys join us tomorrow. Should be a fun time. Should be like a little bit of a head scratcher to say the least with some of the questions. To kind of like get you thinking a little bit.
I think someone better write a quiz.
Yeah.
Worst case
I'm
scenario.
not joking.
Worst case scenario, I'll step in.
Yeah, maybe Dara could be the substitute for tomorrow. That's if Dara is willing to take on that. It's a heavy toll. It's a heavy burden that you carry on your shoulders when you enter the mastermind. I don't know if I said it right. I don't know if that's
I'll be on patrol, but I'll do what I can.
Okay.
Well,
But again,
dangerous.
thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to let you go, but always remember that we're walking along with you in everything and anything you do. We are always there as Reds. And last but not least, though, I would always have to say, up the Reds. Up the Reds. Peace.